You're listening to the Very Serious Crafts podcast.
We're very serious crafters.
And we craft very serious crafts.
Very serious.
Hello, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 10 of the Very Serious Crafts podcast. I'm Mollie from Wild Olive.
I'm Haley from Red Handled Scissors.
And I'm Heidi from Hands Occupied. Today we'll be talking about sewing, spinning wheels, and blocking our knitting. Yay!
Yeah! Good things.
How very, very exciting.
And I thought today, just to start us out, we like a good dad joke around here, and they usually find their way in. There was one small one a couple episodes ago, but I felt like we needed a good quality dad joke for today, so we're just going like full in, like it's a joke.
Go on.
Okay. The question is, what do you call it when someone who is not a father tells a dad joke? Any ideas?
Mollie Johansson.
Yeah. I was going to say, this applies to any of our dad jokes in the podcast. The answer is, you call it a faux pas.
Oh, gosh. That's terrible.
Is that a Mollie Johansson original?
It is not. I think my sister told me that, and I immediately was like, okay, well, I have to tell this joke on the podcast.
Oh my God.
Because my life is sad.
No.
That was awful.
I know. And yet
gosh.
so good.
Full genuine laugh out loud. So I guess you've got that seal of approval.
There you go.
At the very least.
I love it. Started with the obvious groan, but then you can't help but laugh afterwards. So,
I mean, that's how you know it's a quality dad joke.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. So that's
oh man,
that's what I'd like to bring to the episode today. How about you?
That might be your best. That might be your best yet.
Thank you.
That's pretty good. So, in entirely un-dad joke related news, I just got a book that I'm super excited about. It was one of those things that arrived and I had it unwrapped and out of the package before I was back upstairs when the UPS guy dropped it off. It's the Gertie Sews Jiffy Dresses book by Gretchen Hirsch. So the, what is her blog name? Oh, Gertie's Guide to Better Sewing?
I think Blog for Better Sewing, maybe?
Blog for Better Sewing,
yeah.
Yes. Gertie's Blog for Better Sewing. But she has many books out, but this is her new Jiffy Dresses book. So it's made to be dresses that are designed to be sewn in a day. Mm-hmm. Nice. Like completely finished. So they're like the 1950s inspired Jiffy dresses that were supposed to be like start them in the morning and wear them to dinner at night.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's an actual thing.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, and so the dresses are super cute, and they're largely like belted styles, so you don't have to do all of the really tweaky fitting. Mm-hmm. And they're also, most of them are like A-line, so you're really only dealing with like bust specifically for fitting.
Yeah.
And they're super cute. And I'm looking forward to sewing a dress or two.
Today.
Probably not today. As I still have not yet finished my studio reorganization. Although it's looking better.
Neither have I.
Yay! We're so good. That's because deadlines.
Yep.
Yes.
I have had... Well, actually, we'll do Train of Shame at the end of the episode.
Yes. I have several.
Yeah. Yep. Well, in non-Train of Shame news...
Yeah.
I went on my vintage knitting retreat that I was talking about.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It looked so fun.
It was really fun.
And everybody looked adorable.
Yeah, I felt like, I always feel like I have imposter syndrome. Like, what else is new? But.
Whatever, you're the cutest.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
But, so the retreat was hosted by Sydney Crabaugh. I'm probably pronouncing her last name wrong, but she's more widely known as Squidney Knits on Instagram. And she, in real life, lives up to the hype. She genuinely looks like she walked out of a historic photograph from 1935. She is adorable. She wears pretty much exclusively vintage, and she was a really, really nice person, which was also nice.
I love it when that happens.
Yeah, she was great. And she was sick the whole time, so shout out to Sydney because she was a trooper.
Oh, that is rough.
Yeah.
But it looks like you guys had so much fun.
Yeah, we spent 3 nights at this old farmhouse that was built in, I think, 1863 in Hudson, New York. And it's been owned by the family of the people who own it for 70 years. So the house is a little bit of a treasure trove, too, of vintage furniture and knickknacks. And they had a collection of hat pins on, like, this organ in the entryway. And they're just hat pins that the current owner found, like, between the floorboards. And some of them, like, had actual jewels on them.
Cool.
So it was really cool to be in a place that was so steeped in history. And it snowed while we were there, which was really, really beautiful because we got to sit in this sunroom and just feel like we were inside a snow globe, knitting a 1940s style sweater. And anyway, I could go on as usual, but now I know how to seem like a pro. And I think I'm going to really...
S-E-A-M.
Yes.
S-E-E-M.
Yes. S-E-A-M.
As you are, actually.
I was going to say, you do seem like a pro.
Speaking of imposter syndrome.
And also kind of dad jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a great time, and I made a baby sweater, and I'm pretty sure my sister-in-law is not a very serious crafts listener, so I can say that it's gonna be my niece Evelyn's Christmas present.
Yay!
It's got puff sleeves, so it's gonna be so stinking cute.
She's gonna be adorable in that.
I think I'm gonna make myself an adult-sized version of the same or a similar sweater.
Yes, please. Matchy.
And then take, like, Auntie and me photos.
Yes.
And be really
I
extra.
support this plan. I support this plan so thoroughly.
Yeah. And I also really want to make Evelyn some bloomers.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
definitely.
please. Ruffle butt bloomers?
Exactly, because why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
That really is the question. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Anyway, so it was a great time. It was a really special weekend.
Awesome.
Well, we seem to be, like, on the subject of vintage broadly in this conversation. I'm just looking through our topic lists, and we're just going to keep going, I think.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to jump into a little bit of a dive on some spinning wheels, but specifically a vintage spinning wheel, an antique one, so I grew up with this spinning wheel that was always at my grandparents' house. And I spent a lot of time at my grandparents' house growing up. And I think that this was like my grandpa's pride and joy, and I don't exactly know why. It is an antique. I kind of grew up thinking it wasn't really an antique, that it was sort of like one of those, like, it was manufactured like in the 1950s and kind of looked old, but it actually is an old one. But you're going to hear a little bit of, like, a little peek at, like, rebellious Mollie. So my grandpa...
Yes.
For some reason...
I'm very excited.
I rebelled probably more when I was with my grandparents than with my parents. My parents might argue that. I don't know. But anyway, my grandpa was very much like, don't touch the spinning wheel. Guess what Mollie wanted to do? Touch the spinning wheel.
Yeah, you should never tell a child not to touch a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Why didn't they just show you Sleeping Beauty and tell you it was real?
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't so much that I wanted to touch the... I didn't want to touch it with my finger. I wanted to be, like, running that thing. So I would go by with my foot and I would just, like, give it a little just to make it spin. And of course, then it's left spinning, right? So obviously, someone can see that you have been messing with the spinning wheel.
It's a
ghost. Okay, we'll get there. We will get there.
A very industrious ghost. Ooh, will we?
We will get there. That's so interesting that you said that. That's hilarious. But yeah, so
I mean, I always talk about ghosts.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. So when my grandparents passed away, the spinning wheel came to my house, and it's been here, and it's not usable right now, but technically it could be restored and it could be usable. So I've sort of been in this back and forth, like, do I really need to keep a spinning wheel that I don't know how to use and needs work? Is this just taking up more space in my life that, like, do I really need to keep this? Or is this one of those things where it's like, now as an adult, I could make it so that I could touch the spinning wheel and use it as much as I want and just still be a little bit like, ha ha, Papa.
I'm just imagining like 30-something you still walking by it and just like setting it spinning and be like,
yeah. There's other stories like this of me with my grandparents. It's pretty funny, but mostly with my grandpa. But so now I'm looking at this thing going, all right, should I really consider restoring it? Like, if I ever thought that I would want to learn how to use a spinning wheel, this would be the way to do it, right? Is to use the one that is basically like a family heirloom for all intents and purposes. Yeah. So I'm
excited just hearing about it.
I know. So I'm trying to figure out, it has some markings on it, but like it's really hard to make it out, like what it says. And when I've researched online, spinning wheels they look very, very similar from that era. So I don't know if I'll ever find out truly where, any kind of history to go along with it. But as I was or trying to find out more about my particular spinning wheel, is I found this website, and it's theknittinggenie.com. And there's some fun stories that were actually published in newspapers going back to early 19th century. So we have one that was from the coroner's inquest from 1827.
Wait.
Yeah. This was in the Burroughs Worcester Journal. It says, on Thursday at Hollow, on the body of a poor woman of the name of Martha Middleton, who dropped from her chair whilst working at a spinning wheel and instantly expired. Verdict: died by the visitation of God. But
what?
But the spinning wheel is part of the official inquest. I loved it.
I mean, died by the visitation of God. So you better hope that God doesn't visit you while you're at the spinning wheel, because it does not end well.
Right? Then we have from 1841.
That is how you get a ghost.
Yeah.
That is definitely how you get a ghost in your spinning wheel.
It is. We do have also the story of it says, there is now in the possession of John Abbott of Follafoot a cat which is possessed of faculties unknown by any grimalkin that we have seen or read of. This domestic tiger, this domestic tiger can easily open or fasten any door of the cottage in a manner astonishing to behold by actually climbing up and placing its foot in a peculiar manner on the latch. But what is most wonderful, Mrs. Abbott, who is the last remnant of the olden time residing in that village, occupies some portion of her time in spinning, to which the puss lends all the assistance in her power, exerting her utmost in the carding of the wool. And when... Wait. It gets better. And when her...
How do I get one of those?
And when her mistress will allow, will rattle about the spinning wheel in a manner that would bring the blush on many of our modern female cousins, who would find would find some difficulty, at least, in competing with this self-acquired performer on the spinning wheel.
So it's like a pole dancing cat?
I guess so.
There are so many things to dissect there.
I know! I will put the link to this in the show notes so that everyone can enjoy these stories. But there's one more that I thought Haley would especially enjoy.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh boy. I don't know if I can handle more.
This one probably won't make you blush. But we hear from Wingrove near Islesburg in Bucks that a few days ago, one Susanna Hannox, an elderly woman of that place, was accused by a neighbor of being a witch. For that she had bewitched her spinning wheel so that she could not make it go round, and offered to make an oath of it before a magistrate. So apparently...
Yes, witchcraft crafting.
Yeah, I mean, she's placed a curse on the spinning wheel.
I don't think it was a curse. I'm pretty sure. Wait. What? Is the witch stopping the spinning wheel from moving?
Yes.
Or making it move?
Yeah, she bewitched her spinning wheel so that she could not make it go round. So the witch did this to someone else. Yeah.
Oh, see, I was thinking the witch was shortening her own work by making the spinning wheel go on its own,
yeah.
Which is a far better use of that kind of thing.
Well, if you think about it, she hasn't, it doesn't actually say that she hasn't done that. Like, it's quite possible that she also bewitched her own spinning wheel to produce faster. Therefore,
I mean, that would be some witchcraft.
Yeah, therefore outproducing the neighbor. I mean, you don't know.
Okay.
Where do I learn these spells is what I want to know.
I don't know.
I mean,
that was from...
I hear tell that there's some knitting in my sleep that I could be doing.
Okay.
Like, honestly, my crystals need to get with it.
Well, this goes back to the Whitehall Evening Post in London from 1759. So first you're going to have to hop back in time. Then you can get your information from Susanna Hannox.
I mean, I could just get out a pentagram, Molly, and call her up.
Oh, this is so funny.
Anyway.
Yeah, I was just like...
What was it? Wait, was it pentagram that you said? What was it?
Pentagon.
Or pentagon?
I was
Pentagon.
Yes, I called
Pardon
it a
me.
pentagon. Yeah.
I could call her into my pentagon.
You could.
Ugh.
Oh, boy.
This is so funny.
Listen to season 1 if you don't get
That's
that
right.
joke.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I was looking for history of my own spinning wheel and found those gems, and I just couldn't wait to share it with you all.
That was so funny.
Is amazing. I'm delighted. Ghosts and witches. Like, could it be more in my wheelhouse?
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, now that we have discussed possibly inappropriate cats and vintage spinning wheels, Haley, what do you want to talk about today?
So, we've been talking about sewing a lot lately because that seems to be on our minds broadly at the moment. And so I wanted to bring the great fabric pre-washing debate to you guys. Mm-hmm. So, to pre-wash or not to pre-wash, that is the question amongst people who sew forever and ever, probably until the end of time and from the beginning of it.
Well, I will say, as the person who's been like a broken record about sewing, I have never pre-washed because I'm that rudimentary of a sewist, but I assume that someday I will really regret it and then never not do it again.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds logical.
Yeah. All right, so I am sort of solidly on team maybe. Sometimes.
Solid team.
Yeah, it's the team that I am owning. So I think that it matters a lot what kind of project you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it also matters, like, most of us who sew know that fabric is weirdly crisp when you get it. And if you've been around fabric for long enough, you know that that's because it has chemicals in it called sizing. That makes the fabric stiffer and easier to cut and easier to roll and easier to stay on its bolt for shipping. Like, it does things to make the fabric more sturdy. I'm not sure if it's part of, like, the dyeing or even the printing process for digital printed fabric, but it's in pretty much every fabric.
Yeah.
And I happen to be wildly allergic to it, which is another check in the wash that nonsense category. Mm-hmm. But, so it matters what kind of project you're doing. If you're doing a quilt or if you're doing clothes or home goods, decor, something that is never going to see a washing machine. So I, generally speaking, like for quilts and pieced things, unless you're talking about really super tiny pieces or a project that I want to be especially smooth, I don't bother, because shrinking, especially of quilting cotton, adds a lot of texture after you've quilted it.
Yes.
So
that crinkle is so nice.
Yeah. Like it puffs up. It helps a quilt puff up and just look more dramatic. Like, makes the quilting and stitching more dramatic.
And, like, homier, too.
Yeah. And so, and with a quilt, you're probably going to wash it. And especially if you're making it for, like, a kid, you're definitely going to wash it before you give it to them. And so it just gives it that, like, more lived-in, nice, comfy look. So with quilts, I don't generally bother. Unless I'm doing something like applique, where it matters if something maintains its exact shape. Mm-hmm. And so, but clothes, on the other hand, and like Heidi, when I first started sewing, I also never pre-washed. And it probably didn't matter, but I also didn't have my fitting game down enough that it would have necessarily been obvious when the ill-fitting nature of my first outfits was ill-fitting in an ever so slightly different way after washing it. I don't know. I never had anything like shrink to super, super, super short or anything like that. Although, at some point, I should tell you guys the story of when I made a pair of underpants with stretch going the wrong way.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were real hard to get on, but boy, did they hang low. Yeah. Anyway, so if we're talking about clothes, the general rule of thumb for not spending a bunch of time making something and then crying about it, for me, is washing the fabric, pre-washing the fabric how you intend to wash the garment, which I think is how most people recommend doing it. In order to keep your fabric from fraying, you might want to stitch around the edges of the fabric before you wash it. I'm going to be honest, if I don't have to pre-wash, I don't. Like, if I think I can get away with it, because I live in an apartment in New York City, and I don't have laundry in my building, and there isn't a laundromat in my neighborhood.
At all?
So, no, we send our laundry out.
Okay.
Which is the common way to do it. Like, there's a laundromat within walking distance, but it's a distinct effort to actually wash things. But if I'm sewing with something like quilting cotton, which is where all the cute prints are, instead of an actual blend for making clothes, I really gotta pre-wash that, otherwise I'm gonna end up with something terribly shaped.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think that stuff, like, keeping in mind the reality of what you expect this fabric and this garment to do makes a lot of sense. definitely, if you're doing 100% cotton, please just wash and pre-shrink. Please just do it. You will be sad if you don't do it. Although, I will say, in a possible hot take on this subject,
Ooh.
I think, at least for quilting, that the fabric companies have weighed in on this. I think that charm packs that are not pre-washed but are clearly made for immediate sewing into quilts means that fabric producers, our team, don't pre-wash on quilts.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, they might be fighting words, but has anybody ever in life pre-washed a charm pack?
Can you imagine?
No, I can just, the fraying.
Yeah, yikes.
That's like
tiny
a really
2-inch squares.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good way to ruin a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
So,
Don't do it.
So yeah, those are my thoughts, and I'm sure that every other person who's listening to us has their own thoughts on whether or not you should pre-wash, and will email me about how wrong I am. So what do you guys think?
I agree with Mollie. It sounds like a great way to destroy a washing machine.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I think generally though, you are very on target with what you had to say. I will confess that I don't do a lot of garment sewing. When I have pre-washed because it was quilting cotton. So I've been on target there. When I sew for like more craft related items, whether they would be, even if they would get washed, like pillowcases and things like that, I generally don't pre-wash because it's designed to just be photographed. Now, it can be used afterwards, obviously, but It's designed to be photographed, and I feel like not pre-washing makes that fabric look the best in a photo because you know how sometimes it gets that little bit of, dullness. It just kind of, it dulls, exactly. So I try to avoid that. But the thing that always makes me a little nervous is sometimes I'm combining like a quilting cotton and a linen. And if I had to wash it afterwards, I'm not exactly sure how that would come out. So
those shrink differently.
I have some items that I have made like that, and I go, I hope I never ever have to put that quilt in a washing machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that way about curtains.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know I should totally, anything with that much fabric, just pre-wash it. Yeah. Just do. But no.
Yeah.
And I live in fear of needing to wash curtains and then seeing how straight they really hang afterwards.
Yeah, that's the big one there.
Yeah. And I mean, for like something like knits or like something on the bias, I don't necessarily think it is necessary all the time, but I feel like it's one of those things that like if this could go spectacularly wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like if you're talking about something very fitted, pre-wash the fabric.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about like a baggy shirt dress, who cares?
Yeah.
Literally no one's going to notice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever. Or you might have to rehem it.
Yeah.
If it shrinks in a wonky way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's definitely, I think pre-washing, if I had a washing machine and if that were a readily available option to me, I would probably pre-wash everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, so I pick and choose my battles.
Now I'm going to have to pre-wash everything.
Yeah, Heidi.
I know better now. Dang it!
Yeah. Well, but the more you get into fitting, which you've been sort of diving into a little bit more.
Thanks to you. Oh, wait, just kidding.
Sorry.
Thanks to having a human-shaped body and being a craft designer.
Well, okay, also that. But I expect that it will be more relevant.
Yeah. Yeah. And like we've talked about, the whole point of wanting to learn to sew is to actually wear clothes that, fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that, right?
Yeah, go figure. It's almost like, universal sizing is not effective for everyone.
Huh. I mean, could that be?
I never. Well, on probably the totally opposite end of the particularity spectrum, if I can
Yes.
if I can use that word that I just made up. This past weekend, I spent quality time with some used fabric at, my favorite place in Chicago, the Waste Shed. That I've maybe talked about once or twice. Speaking of spinning wheels, I think the spinning wheel there sold. Oh. So that's exciting. Yay.
All right.
Ooh, somebody has one.
Yeah. Hopefully not haunted.
Hopefully not.
But you never know. But
Indeed.
Yeah, this past Sunday was the Waste Shed Spring Craft Fair in Chicago. Ironically enough, it snowed all day that day.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
Like you do.
Yeah.
In spring.
It was very wet snow. It was really unpleasant. But the craft fair still happened, and because the Waste Shed sells secondhand materials for arts and crafts and teaching and whatnot, all the artists featured in the craft fair all are recycling artists. So they upcycle, they repurpose, etc. There was even this woman who I really enjoyed chatting with who upcycles wood products, and her stuff was really, really cool. And I'm excited to continue following her work. But I digress. I was there to lead a free make and take as part of the craft fair, just as a volunteer. And so I was like, well, what's the most recycle-y thing I can do that requires minimal instruction and can be done for essentially free?
Yeah.
And among the many donations the Waste Shed gets are a lot of craft stashes, as I've discussed before. But particularly, one thing that's particularly challenging, even for a place like the Waste Shed that specializes in selling fabric stashes, one of the problems that they have is when they get a quilter's stash, because a lot of it's already cut because grandma passed away when she was halfway through cutting this quilt top or whatever.
Right.
Or somebody who was a sewist who didn't get rid of their scraps, because we're crafters and do that sometimes.
Yes. So
they had this giant box of little pieces of fabric, usually there were several 6x6 inch squares, longer strips, things like that. And they just had it in a free pile, and every once in a while they just purge it because they can't hold on to that forever. And so I took those scraps and played around with finger knitting with them, and we made finger knit statement necklaces, which was cool because I got to teach everybody how to repurpose otherwise unusable scraps into fabric yarn pretty easily. It involved lots of very satisfying tearing. And so it was quick as well. And then we finger knit these chunky statement necklaces, and it was really, really fun. And I highly recommend giving finger knitting a try if you find yourself with a lot of fabric to use up or kids that need entertaining.
And that stuff actually looked cuter than I would have expected it to.
Totally.
Yeah, they were actually the finished products that I was seeing in your feed were or in your stories were fantastic.
Yeah, they're really, really cute.
Yeah. It also helped that a lot of the craft fair vendors, when it was slower, came over to do the craft, which was cool.
Sure.
And so they all had really creative ideas because they're professional recycling artists. So I had a good time.
Fun.
Yeah.
Even though it was snowing.
And you do love the Waste Shed.
I really do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hoping. I was talking to Liz, the woman who is the lady in charge over there, and I was like, if you need help tabling at a farmer's market, we can do this craft. All I need is 6 pairs of scissors and this bucket of stuff that's otherwise going to be garbage. So that was exciting. It was nice to actually be able to volunteer doing a craft thing that was appreciated and didn't look like crap.
Yeah. No, totally.
So yeah, that was fun.
Cool.
Nice.
Yay.
Okay, so we're gonna move into another topic here, a little less vintage, old, recycly, and a little more making new things. And that topic is specifically on blocking your knitting. And as probably
crochet.
Oh yeah, that's right. I should say your crochet as well, because that was one of my first blocked projects was crochet. But I feel like I'm the least experienced in this of the three of us, and definitely just tried to avoid blocking entirely for as long as possible, which I'm gonna.
But you really need to.
Yeah, I there's something like that just felt intimidating to me about it. I'm not sure why, but my first
I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, and again, like once I did it, that felt kind of silly, but my first go at blocking, and I did this a couple of times, I misted it heavily, which I read is a valid method of blocking, but or I watched a YouTube video on it or something, but I just sprayed it down and then I pinned it, and it was kind of okay, except that that blocking has not held especially well. So then I went to soaking, and much better results with that. And I, again, being new to this, haven't invested too heavily in blocking mats or anything. I usually just put a towel down on the carpet and pin into the floor. But now I want to hear about what you guys do for this.
One quick jump in about the towel. That's what I did for years. I didn't know that you could block any other way.
Okay.
And
that's how I started too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Into a rug on my floor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right.
So that is a totally normal, like you don't need anything extra method to get that done.
Yep. And you can use regular sewing pins. You don't have to buy the special ones at all. It's pins.
Yeah.
Yep. It's pins.
Eventually I may upgrade, but this is what I've had and have made work. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's actually a really good point. I think a lot of people who feel intimidated about blocking think that they need something fancy. And you don't. I mean, like we have all experienced, a towel on a floor and some sewing pins is enough. It's not dramatically complicated.
Yeah.
I personally like to make it more dramatically complicated because I like grids and things measured specifically. And so I tend to go a little bit overboard in this sort of thing. But
who is surprised?
Right.
Sorry, just teasing.
No one. Crickets sound across the internet. So we've all got our own personal methods. Mine is like for really thoroughly blocking a project. So I start by soaking in wool wash, and then I generally use a big fluffy towel to press out as much excess water as possible very gently without stretching, like never wringing out or anything like that. And then I pin my projects to a gridded mat to make sure that everything stays evenly and let them dry that way. Mm-hmm. That's like my full blocking nonsense. But if I've got something that I need to wear, or like when I was going to Chicago for the Serious Crafts live show,
yeah,
and I'm just getting my accent out a little. My mom has made a sudden appearance. Anyway, I'm not sure why my Midwest surfaced just then. I guess you all just made me feel very close to my roots. But for the shawl that I brought with me, I finished the night before, and there was no time for any of the full blocking nonsense. I sprayed that thing with a spray bottle and pinned it. Matter of fact, I pinned it first, and then I sprayed it with a spray bottle.
This will be this size.
I may have done that. Yeah.
Yep. I pinned it first, and then I sprayed it with a spray bottle, and it was fine. I have also, on more delicate or more likely to shrink items, I have used a clothing steamer. On less likely to shrink items, I have used steam from my iron and pinned it to my ironing board because that is fast. You don't want to do that on something delicate or something that it matters if you might really ruin it. But for quick bursts, that'll do in a pinch. Or refreshing the shape of like a cuff or something like that. But so those are my go-to methods. Heidi, you are the knitting and crochet
lunatic.
Yep, okay. That's fine. I was going to say something nice, but fine.
Expert lunatic.
Sure. That means you definitely should listen to what I have to say.
Definitely.
Okay, so one thing I should probably start with is, as a professional knitter and crocheter person, I have worked for money for a couple different wool wash companies, for like sponsored blog posts or like back in the day, like a brand ambassador thing. So FYI, I'm going to avoid using brand names because that's weird. And I want you to know that this is genuinely what I do. And also, you don't actually have to use a fancy brand of wool wash.
No, you don't. It's true.
People use...
Although I'm sure we'll put what we're using in the show notes, right?
Yep.
But it smells
and there's so many
pretty.
options to... Yeah, there's so many options to choose from, and they smell really nice, and the people who run the companies are really nice.
True.
But yeah, so FYI there. I mean, for years people used Woolite. Then just like you use for your other delicate items. And also you can use wool wash solutions that are marketed to knitters and crocheters. You can clean your bras with those too. Like I
do, in fact. Yeah. I hand wash my bras with the very same thing every week.
Yeah, these wool washes are just basically not a heavy duty detergent that's designed to get rid of stinks and oils and dirt. It's detergent. Yep. It's designed to clean your stuff. And half the time, I don't even use it unless I've been, like, on a deadline and have been kind of, like, eating while I'm knitting. Or if I've been... No, for real. Or if I've been, like, working on something at knit night. Or if it's winter and I've been putting on a lot of lotion and I want to get that oil out of there. That's a lot of times what you use that wool wash for.
Yep.
Before I get too deep into this, though, I do want to mention, for folks that don't work with yarn a lot, blocking is kind of like pre-washing fabric. You soak the item in water and or wool wash, and you let the fibers get saturated, and then you lay it out in the shape you would like your finished piece to be. And blocking helps clean the thing, helps define its shape, and also if you're working with certain fibers that change shape once they're wet, it's critical. I'll say that. And that is the one point where blocking is actually objectively critical. If you're working with like a linen or a silk or a weird blend, blocking will completely transform your lace that looks kind of wrinkly and tiny. And then you block it and it looks beautiful.
Yes.
And you can also pin out your lace shape and make sure that all your lace openings are perfectly placed and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So FYI.
But I mean, even with just a hat.
Yeah.
Like most of us are like, whatever, I'm not going to block my first ever project. I promise it will look so much better if you block it. Like, it will turn something that you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm not very good at this, into something you're proud to wear.
Yeah. Blocking.
And just try it.
Blocking will even out your stitches if you're struggling with tension.
Yep.
It will make them closer to the same size. Yeah, so I recommend at least trying it for yourself, especially if you're making something fitted. Much like Haley's advice for the pre-wash, which you just heard me say, I don't want to. So don't feel bad if you feel that way. Don't feel bad if you feel that way about the yarn version. But let's see. a lot of what Haley said is perfectly on point. I really like using, I started out, when I first started blocking, I didn't pin anything. I just used cold water and my like junky towels. That was all I used. I really prefer soaking my knitting and crochet for blocking. I like putting it in a cold to tepid, so like room temperature water or colder. I like to soak my pieces in that for at least a half hour, especially if it's wool, to make sure that all of the fiber gets wet. And with crochet, especially, crochet's a little more complicated because the stitches are more dense because there are a series of tighter knots that are wrapped around each other, and so they take longer to soak through and longer to dry. I recommend using a fan when you're blocking crochet to keep the air moving, because if you're like, let's say it's really cold where you live, if you're leaving something on the blocking mat for a long time and it's not drying fast enough, you can get a mildewy project, and nobody wants that. And then you have to start over. So little disclaimer there.
Start over with the washing and the blocking, not start over with the project.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. I mean,
oh, God.
And if it gets moldy, Afghan. It's like, well, oh, this is trash. 20 zillion yards of yarn later. Anyway, sorry, I'm like jumping from thing to thing, so feel free to rein me in, ladies, if I'm like all over the place.
No, you're good. You're good.
But the thing, I do think, the class that I get requested to teach the most, and I still haven't pulled the trigger on putting together, is a blocking and finishing class. And it's the thing I get asked about the most, maybe because I post Instagram stories where I'm like pinning an Afghan with 20,000 pins in it, because I'm particular.
Particular. I see. I'm not the only one of us.
Yeah. But especially if you're doing design work, you want to make sure that your finished dimensions are correct, especially if it's something really big that's a lot of yardage. Like with Intarsia Mountain, I pinned out all but every stitch of that thing, every edge stitch, I should say. And I also babysat it as it dried. So I checked on it for like a full day every few hours. And what I like to do for a big project is, well, I have 2 dogs. So for one thing, I make a little corral to keep them from climbing on my thing that I'm trying to make look nice. Because if one of my dogs is like, this seems comfortable, they're going to wreck the whole thing. And that's not what I want. But for larger projects, I will straight up block on the floor, ideally on blocking mats, just for a little more control. Or I use a big sewing table that folds out if it's big enough to accommodate the project. And my main tools are pins, blocking mats, and a yardstick, and my hands. So once I've soaked my project for, the 30 minutes or longer, in the right temperature water, I lay it out in towels, like Haley mentioned. Carefully lay it out, because you don't want to like partially pick up your thing out of the dye bath and let all of the yarn between your hand, or not the dye bath, the soaking bath. You don't want the yarn between your hand and the bowl to completely stretch out, because you are at major risk of damaging your project if, while it's fully saturated with water, if you pull on it or wring it out like you would a towel. That's not what you want to do. This stuff is delicate, even if it's a fairly sturdy fiber. Yeah. When it's wet.
I soak mine in a lingerie bag sometimes.
That's really smart.
Especially unwieldy.
Yeah, that's really smart, Haley. And then I lay out the thing on however many towels I need, and I roll it up like a burrito, carefully, and then I punch the crap out of it. Or I straight up...
I dance on it.
Yeah, exactly. Or I like pull a Lucille ball in the grapes and walk on it.
Yes. I think I've seen videos of you doing that.
Probably.
Yeah, I do it too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that just helps press the moisture into the towel, and the water will stay in the towel more than the yarn. And then your towel will be wet as heck. And what I like to do, especially if it's on the floor, I like lazily clean my floor with all that water. I like walk around and scrub the floor.
I think that's very reasonable. Why not?
Yeah, and I do it on the counter too if it's a smaller project. So life tips all around. Sorry, I'm like rambly, but then I lay the thing out on the blocking mats or towels, and then I carefully pin it out. but usually not immediately. If the piece looks like it's gotten really big, the term you'll often see is blooming when the yarn gets way bigger when it's wet. Sometimes some fibers, when they get wet, they will bloom and stay bigger, and that is a known thing. Check Ravelry forums if it's a new specialty yarn that was expensive and you want to make sure not to wreck it.
Yep.
But even with like an acrylic wool blend, you can run into this something being like huge when it's all wet. And so what I like to do is just lay it out flat, like sort of have it bead a shape, but then just let it sit for a while with a fan on it. No heat, just a fan. That air circulation will help it dry, and as it starts to get less saturated, it will naturally shrink a little, and you can also kind of zhuzh it in a bit. And so I kind of gently, using the palm of my hand and my entire forearm, if it's a big piece, I will slide it a little bit together, being careful not to pull on my stitches if they are really, really wet. And then what I like to do, once it's less dry, that's when I grab my yardstick and pin it to shape. So if it's like, let's say I'm going for something 36 by 60, I will straight up measure.
Yeah.
And I don't usually use gridded blocking mats. I just use a yardstick or a ruler, and I find that does the job well enough. And the real trick is, if you want something that is very square, making sure that your angles are 90-degree angles and that your lines are straight. And that's where the yardstick's great, because I like to tap it against my top and my sides if I'm trying to zhuzh it in a little. And so even if you feel like your tension got wonky,
that cleans up those edges too.
Exactly. And if you feel like your tension got a little wonky, when it's wet is a great time to kind of
massage
work with those stitches and make them behave a little. With crochet especially, that is a like sticking point when I'm blocking.
Yeah.
Crochet especially. Yeah, I mean, obviously I could go on and on and on, but I will leave it there.
No, I think that's a really good place for people to get started, especially people who might have felt a little more intimidated.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard. It's just that you have to pay attention.
Yeah. And the babysitting thing, like, don't lay your thing out to block and then leave for vacation, because then your thing might end up being blocked to a weird size and you can't intervene at any point.
Yeah. I mean, but you can always, if you screw up, get it wet again.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a big deal. And if you're not a designer, maybe you don't care as much if everything is exactly the size it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Yep. And, one last pro tip, I guess literally pro tip. Is,
yes.
I have been known, especially if I have a big piece. I designed a super scarf for the Craft Yarn Council's super scarf campaign a couple years ago, and it's a scarf that's like a foot by 6 feet was the design specification. And I used yarn from a big box store, and the colors were really great, but it was a very bright blue and a cream. And I was like, oh, if these leak, the entire, like, this multiple feet of knitting is going to be ruined. So instead of doing tepid room temperature water, I did as cold of water as I could get. And then I dumped ice on top.
Yep.
And the thing, though, to be careful with is that the ice, don't try to move it when it's on top of your fiber, because it can freeze. It will freeze directly to the moisture in your piece.
Yeah.
So just get your water set, dump the ice on top, and leave it. The ice will also help weigh your piece down into the water. And then once all that ice has melted, you're free to go, so to speak.
Yeah. No, that's a really good tip, especially if you've got something that might bleed.
Yep. And I often like to block in a like Sterilite tub or drawer from one of my organizers, because then I can see if there's dye coming out of the yarn.
That's really smart.
Yeah. Anyway, again,
I'll remember that.
I am a psychopath, lunatic, professional person.
But those are all good tips.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I think it's better to know a little more than you need to know than not enough when you're working with something, especially a project you spent time on.
and I think, I mean, this is what being a very serious crafter is all about.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Very serious.
Hey.
Hey. All right. So, talking about being especially crazy about things, shall we do a quick round of Train of Shame?
Speed round.
Yeah, speed round. Okay.
Bullet Train.
Yes.
So, I'm just, like, a couple episodes ago, Haley mentioned that it almost felt like controversial, but she mentioned that she doesn't like Mod Podge. And I instantly thought about the craft.
Don't at me.
Yeah, I thought about the craft thing that I also don't like, that I sometimes feel like I almost should hide, but I do not like, hate might be a strong word, but I don't like scrapbooking. I don't like doing it.
That's okay, me neither.
Yeah,
I sometimes think
Sorry,
it's okay,
guys.
but it always feels like, as a former graphic designer, that I should connect with it in some way, but I do not. I like scrapbooking supplies for other things, like washi tape and some patterned paper and things, but no scrapbooking for me.
That's okay.
And
me neither.
And digital scrapbooking, I'm like, I don't totally understand the point.
That's it. That feels like graphic
yeah.
design, and yet it's not.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but it does not work that way for me. So, yeah, that's my thing.
I mean, I understand that some people love it and memory keeping is a thing, but it's just, I didn't grow up with it and it's not for me either. Sorry.
I try and I cannot connect with it. So there's that.
Yeah.
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 All right. Next car. Where's your ticket?
Well, I must confess to you two that I have very recently unearthed a knitting project buried in my wardrobe that I had clearly hidden there when company was coming over to make my workspace look clean, and then completely forgot about it. I mean, it's a full project in project bag.
Whoops.
It was under some towels.
And you weren't trying to block it?
No, it's definitely not done. I was not blocking. Yeah, no.
I love that you just forgot it was there.
There's so many things that I'm always... No.
Do you still
out
like
of sight,
the project?
out of mind.
I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember?
I don't even know what's in it. Like, I looked in. It did not clarify. I put it right back where I found it. I'll deal with it at some point. I don't know.
Well, speaking of dealing with things at some point, my studio is in a storefront that's at street level. So curtains are a thing. And at craft night, people are like, I feel like I'm in a fishbowl. And I was like, I know. I've got to sew these. Because the windows are huge and it would be so expensive to try and find store-bought curtains that were that size. And also, like, it's a craft studio. Why wouldn't I make the curtains? Problem is.
Because fabric is really expensive?
I mean...
Well,
I would suggest that IKEA might have some solutions for you.
Well, too late.
I would agree. Oh.
Too late. I'm on this bullet train caboose. And I am eyeballs deep. Not even eyeballs deep. I feel like I've barely started the project. But
you're pinky toe deep?
Sure. But
I don't know.
At the end of the day, it's really funny to me that I am surprised that the fabric that I knew would be a pain in the butt to work with, because I need to be able to shoot videos and photos, and I want to use them as a light filter. And so that's why I also wanted to make these curtains, because I had reasons for them to be see-through-ish.
Sheer. Right.
Yeah. And so why am I so surprised when the fabric I knew would be a pain to work with is why? Why do we gaslight ourselves in this way, crafters?
You had hope. False hope, but
my condolences.
Yeah. The 2 panels of the 8 that I need that I've finished so far are nice, and my skills with working with sheer slippery fabric are certainly improving, but woof, it takes a while.
Yeah. Well, hemming curtains is one of those things that I avoid like nobody's business. Yes. It's a straight line, and yet...
And I mean, and I'm using the selvage as much as possible, because I'm like, I'd rather have them done and then I can deal with hemming someday.
Sure, whatever.
But yeah, no. It's a whole deal.
No is right.
Yeah. Oh boy.
On that note, someday
this train will reach a good destination or something. But for now, I still enjoy the ride. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. And we're learning.
Exactly.
On the ride.
And I don't know.
Like that.
I don't know what I was going to say. All right. Shall we wrap it up for today?
Sounds good.
I think we've done all the damage we can do.
I think we've traumatized people.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. There, witches and
stripper cats.
Blocking. Like, this is like the episode of Nightmares.
Or dreams come true. I don't know.
Sure.
I like the way you think.
All right, listeners. If you are a person who likes to hang out on the internet, you should hang out with us. Find us on Instagram and Twitter at Serious Crafts and on Facebook at Very Serious Crafts. You can also find show notes and all things Very Serious Crafts at veryseriouscrafts.com. Want to join in the conversation? Just tag us using hashtag #VerySeriousCrafts. And if you're using Instagram stories, don't forget to tag us with @SeriousCrafts so that we can reshare those stories with everyone else. Are you a fan of the Very Serious Crafts podcast? Great! Pretty please leave the Very Serious Crafts podcast a 5-star rating on whichever platform you use to listen to podcasts, because good ratings help us show up in recommendations, which helps more people who love crafting to find us. And finally, if you would like to sponsor an episode of the Very Serious Crafts podcast, we would love to have you. And just visit veryseriouscrafts.com and click on sponsor. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.